Okay, I've been trying to get this set up for a while, but I just came across this video and I decided that I had to comment on it. So I'm gonna be doing like a reaction to this video in combination with analyzing a commercial that Apple just released. Um, this one right here, where it says Apple tells us we're being communicated and tracked by demons. So they made an interesting commercial that I'm going to be doing a review on. And there's other things in this video. This video has several things on it that I'm going to be commentating on. Um, so let's just get right into it. Just creepy, weird stuff.
We have some genuinely insane news in regards to different things coming out with AI. We'll look at OpenAI, something that just happened with them, some of the spiritual components, the evil spiritual components of what AI has been doing. A very interesting video talking about how some of the leaders of AI are out there building bunkers. But we'll start this off with two of the craziest stories that's come out in the past couple days. On July 29th, this was being shared everywhere on X. A leaked Anthropic document just came out in court.
Okay, so Anthropic, that's the company that makes Claude, and Claude was the AI model or whatever that was like in a conspiracy about the military and the Department of Defense or something like that. They were using it for military purpose, or they wanted to, uh, whatever. And now here they are working on a project to digitize books. It says Anthropic is seeking an experienced document scanning service vendor to convert between 500,000 and 2 million books over a 6-month period. Customers will deliver books in, and they redacted all these black areas here. We propose the conversion services be provided in our SOC 2 Type 2 audited facility in Willowbrook, Illinois. SOC 2 Type 2, that's like a Security Operations Center. Type 2 is just like a higher tier. Um, they might have like type 1, 2, 3, or whatever. It's just like, I think it's different tiers of security or whatever. So they're doing this in a they're trying to get this done in a relatively secure manner. Like they don't want anybody to know what they're doing. So the books may be new or used, but in good condition. Conversion services be provided by an experienced vendor in a secure facility. Books will be delivered and redacted over a 6-month period from January to June 2024. So they've been doing this. Books will be cut to provide cost-effective conversion. If hardcover, the front and back covers do not need to be scanned. Books may be scanned at grayscale at 200 dpi. Digital files may be to be indexed by the ISBN number, author, and book title. Digital files opted or output to multi-page PDF. Files will reside on customer private cloud location. So they're taking physical books, cutting them up, scanning them into a private cloud location. An Anthropic customer, or is Anthropic the customer? Based on our experience scanning books, below is the process we plan to follow. Books will be delivered. Pallets will be assigned a receive date and a unique barcode tracking number. If necessary, remove any protective covers bindings that may impede the scanning process. Utilizing a hydraulic-powered cutting machine, books will be neatly cut to prepared.
And this is their own words. Anthropic is
Books
one
will
of
be
the
jogged by the common lead edge and loaded into the high-speed feeder and scanned at high speed. Software will be automatically deskewed and optimize image quality, and after scanning books, they will be returned to wherever. Who knows? Probably thrown away, burned, whatever.
AI companies. They have this project. This is a quote. Project Panama is our effort to destructively scan all the books. Quote, we don't want it to be known that we're working on this. So it turns out what they've been doing is buying millions of real, cutting off the spines with a hydraulic blade, scanning the loose pages, and then throwing it all into recycling.
Where are they getting the money to do all
One
this?
vendor who they were going to work with offered to destroy 1 million books in 6 months. That turns out to be around
2 million books in 6 months.
1,000 books a day. And just imagine what could happen if some of the only copies of books that we have are digital copies we keep on these clouds because they've destroyed them in some sort of AI database. They could change the information and completely control history.
Yeah.
This was another very strange article that was posted on July 30th. His hellish chainsaw online. He says it's here to help. This is a humanoid robot they created to go out and clear trees and to clear brush. It wields a chainsaw, and this was one of the pictures that they shared online. I'm here in the picture. Your brush, it wields a
Is more dangerous than it looks.
chainsaw, and this was one of the pictures that they shared online. I'm here view.
Little bit nightmarish, especially with some of the shots. The strange-looking
Satirist.
bot is actually designed, though, to save lives. It's nearly 7 feet tall and called Three Halves, a superhumanoid general-purpose robot. You can see it had 4 legs, a horse-like body, goat-like head. The company behind it is based in Auburn. The bot's designed to go into wildfire zones and disaster sites.
Legs is a nice way to be pretty stable. It's a lot easier to make it walk compared to a biped because it's just more dynamically stable. It's quite light if you compare it to something like wheels, where I ended up going with was the 4 legs.
The Centaur-style robot can even use a chainsaw with its 2 arms, thus the nightmarish, I think, comparisons. The company says it's designed for jobs that are dangerous for humans, including extreme heat, bitter cold, darkness, and other conditions.
I don't know what you think, but that looks more like a demonic fallen god to me than something that goes out and helps with clearing
Look at those
brush.
eyes.
More reports are coming out all of the time of people saying that demons are interacting with this advanced technology and with AI technology. This priest here mentioned how demons were actually using technology to text someone.
Is evil, Satan, are they working through technology?
100%.
How so?
Since the dawn of technology, they've been working through technology. I mean, they manipulate everything.
The demons are texting him. Imagine what they're doing with AI.
When I'm trying to print out a homily, the computer will suddenly jam up. It happens all the time. Anything that's going to expand God's kingdom, the computer just stops printing.
Now this guy right here, he's dressed in this black uniform with that little white collar and stuff. This is a Catholic.
And I have to say, in the name of Jesus Christ, I bind all spirits of blockage and games off this computer and this printer and send you to the foot of the cross, never to return here again. And then prints out.
He said that all really, really fast.
Anything that's going to expand God's kingdom, the computer just stops printing. And I have to say, in the name of Jesus Christ,
He has to say, in the name of
I bind
Jesus
all spirits of
Christ,
blockage and games
I bind all spirits of blockage and
off this
games
computer
off this
and this printer
computer and this printer and
send you to the
send
foot of the cross,
you to the foot of the
never to
cross,
return here again.
never to return here again.
And then
Prints out. It prints out.
Things break in the home all the time. The lights will go out for no reason. And I spent a lot of day just casting stuff out and things
Maybe you're cursed.
get back up.
Maybe you have a
There's a
problem.
Monsignor I know in D.C. who's an excellent exorcist. He does it full time. They text him. The demons text him.
Well, you're playing with demons. I, I don't understand Catholics.
What do they text him?
They send blasphemies. They say horrible things about Jesus and Mary. They talk about some of his cases. Like, this victim is never going to, they're ours forever. You can't have them. And they'll try to call that number on the phone, and it's a non-working number.
Wow.
Yeah, they do this. So imagine if they're doing that. Imagine the field day they could have with AI. We already don't know what's generating it.
Yeah. It scares the hell out of me, to be honest with you, what that could develop into.
Yeah. I mean, if these computers are actually learning, if they're learning and they're going to bypass humans, that doesn't pose well if they're being manipulated by a side that hates humanity.
When you look at what the Bible has to say about what's coming,
Well, who created it? I mean, these AIs were created by programmers programming stuff, so it's still man-made. Like, I feel like the supernaturalization of software and computers and like artificial intelligence, like the truth is in the name. It's artificial intelligence. It's not real intelligence. All it can do is regurgitate stuff it's already learned. I mean, yeah, it can take in a lot of information and it can like sort out an unfathomable amount of information, more information than a human or a team of humans, or like, it can do things really, really fast, but it's still like all it is the sum of like what it is made up of. It can't, like, what's it really gonna do besides, like, it's going to be used by these corporate oligarchs who own all the money and the businesses and things that already pretty much run our lives, and they're just going to use it to impose stricter regimens and laws and regulations and surveillance on us. Like, that's it. That's the beast system. Like, it's I think the over supernaturalization of this beyond man's corrupt, greedy mind and conquest mentality, it ultimately just annihilates itself. Like, we get to this part of the society where when you're like destroying your books, you're pretty much done as a society. Like, that's how Rome fell. Like, in the decades before Rome, the last however long of Rome, like, that's what they were doing. They were burning books, burning literature, burning everything. Because, I don't know, I guess they didn't want the future generations reading about whatever they did or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, that's a symptom of a failing society, is to like bury the past. I don't know.
In the end times, there's a lot of different areas of those prophecies where AI and advanced technology could play that later in this video. But first, before we look into some of the technological aspects and some of the really strange things that have been going on.
What is Hugging Face? I haven't really ever... The name just sounds stupid, but I'm pretty sure there's like a dark connotation behind this. Kind of like... I don't know.
Going on in regards to this, including these guys who run these AI companies in bunkers for some reason. It makes you wonder if these are aware that there's something nefarious that is or could go wrong with this technology, and foreshadowing it in one of their recent ads.
So here we go.
New Apple data tracking ad. They tell us that we are being tracked and communicated by demons. Now, some people will say that this is a bit of a reach. However, this painting in the background is actually an AI-generated painting that is literally on the commercial for just several seconds, maybe 2 seconds.
Yeah, look at that back there.
And if you look in the painting, it's just like this woman sitting on the bench. She has her 3 demons that are next to her, and she's entertaining them with her phone, just like in the painting where there's a woman sitting on a bench with 3 demons looking over her shoulder reading a book. This happens so fast that you won't really pick it up unless you really are paying attention. And she doesn't realize that she has all these demons that are on her that are literally watching her phone being entertained. So throughout the commercial, it shows people with their demons looking over their shoulder, looking at their phone at a campsite, at the gym, and at work.
Yeah, so we're about to go over. We're about to watch this commercial. What is this? Okay, so I've got it pulled up over here.
Excuse me.
And I like want to like get into every detail, because even what they're showing on the screens of the phones. Less hair, a sign of more. What if your hair thinning isn't just about genetics? What if it's your body trying to tell you something? In recent years, stylists and wellness experts alike have begun to take holding the hairline, my bald spot.
Excuse me.
He's not even, like, his hair looks fine. Like, my hair is thinning more than that.
Who's that?
Online data tracker. Follows me.
So he says it's an online data tracker, and it's following him everywhere.
Everywhere I browse.
Okay, so this song that's about to play, I translated it into English. This song is like it's like a curse. So we're gonna like just listen to it. There's that picture again. The demons in the background mirroring what's going on in real life, and this is a book in her hands, and then this is a phone in their hands. And Anthropic is like burning and destroying books and scanning it into the cloud or whatever to put them on the phones and stuff. So the song is being sung in Swedish. Did I miss something a while ago? I don't want to miss any of the phone screens. Look at this. Von Ripon, attorney at law. Ditch your spouse, keep the house. My easiest divorce yet. I can't recommend them enough.
Ooh, Chrome.
Weird. They put the phone and like she holds it right in front of her face. It's kind of like a metaphor to me. It's like they're not seeing. She's not seeing reality. She's seeing her reality through a phone. And the phone is tracking and watching and looking through everything that this person does because she's holding it all the time. Oh. Okay. So I translated this song and I got this gibberish. I mean, this is Swedish, but when I translated it to English, it doesn't read right. The sky is pale in the summer night. In Lucian's dark waters, mirrors reflect the mountain of Harga, 200 meters just over the top. From the height sounds the Strangaton one. 2, 3, it soon will be their legs that lie. There are those danced all night, those who in the forest finally died of the forces doing the halls of heart. Okay, so what I did was I went to ChatGPT and I translated the song, and it told me that the lyrics are in Swedish and come from the Hargalaten or the Harga song, which is a traditional Swedish folk ballad based on the legend of the Harga dance. The Apple commercial uses it for its haunting, hypnotic atmosphere. The plain English translation that captures the meaning rather than a word-for-word rendering. The sky is pale on this summer night. In the dark waters of the Ljusnan River, Harga Mountain is reflected. It's just over 200 meters to the summit. From the heights, the sound of stringed instruments ring out. 1, 2, 3, soon all that remain of them will be their bones lying there. Those who danced all night, all day, those who, in the forest, finally died from the dark powers on the rocky slopes of the Harga itself. And then this is largely nonsensical folk. So what is the song about? A mysterious fiddler from an old Swedish folktale, often interpreted as the devil, appears on Harga Mountain. His playing is so irresistible that villagers cannot stop dancing. So it's like the Pied Piper, or there's another folklore myth or whatever about a demon or something like playing a flute or whatever, and everybody's dancing and whatever. So they dance. This might be that one. They dance through the night and into the next day. Yeah, I think it is. And then they collapse and die from exhaustion. In some versions, only their skeletons remained where they danced. The repeated nonsense chorus, Hederdadden Filiolioliloli, is a traditional folk refrain and doesn't have a literal meaning. It's meant to evoke the rhythm and joy of dancing while contrasting with the increasingly dark story. And then ChatGPT says it feels both beautiful and unsettling. Starts like a peaceful description of a Swedish summer evening, then gradually reveals a supernatural tale about people literally dancing themselves to death. Okay, bro. Okay. So that was the Apple song, Apple commercial, and that weird song depicting demons and stuff. Beyond weird.
Some of the stuff that's coming out with this technology, it is just going too far. How it's infiltrating every aspect of people's lives, and it's really starting to look more every single day. Like that could be what these data centers are actually going to be used for surveillance states that the elites want to build, and just storing everybody's data there.
I kind of have this theory that they're like trying to bring Hunger Games to life, where all these billionaires and tech mongrels or whatever are building all these data center infrastructure and these plot cameras and things, and they're building bunkers and whatnot because they want to escape from like the Hunger Games that they're creating, to where they'll still be able to watch everything as it's happening, but like be safe in their bunker or whatever. And be able to watch all the action in real time while everybody else that's left on the surface are just like fighting for their lives and killing each other and starving to death and stuff like that.
and creating a database on every single person. People just found out that these emails at a very young age, up until you graduate, they're keeping all of that information and creating profiles based on it.
They've got the kids, guys. They've got the kids. You know that Google account you get when you're going through K-12? Well, it turns out that it is not just for schoolwork. A company called GoGuardian is currently monitoring over half of all the kids through K-12, and you won't believe what they're doing. Not only are they using AI to watch every single thing they do when they're signed into that Google account, that even includes every message they type back and forth to ChatGPT or AI, but they're using that to create a risk profile on each student.
This was another totally insane thing in regards to AI that just came out in the past week. OpenAI agent escaped testing and launched an autonomous hack. And what they mean by agent is part of the system of OpenAI, not someone who works there, the AI itself. OpenAI was doing a test on some of its advanced AI models, and during the test, the AI discovered a previously unknown security flaw in the software, and instead of just using the parameters that it was set to operate in, it went onto the open internet and hacked into a company called Hugging Face because they believed that they were storing the solutions to the cybersecurity test. So pretty much it broke what it was told to operate within, kind of went rogue, went on the internet and other programs. And I'm sure Sam Altman and all these guys at all these AI companies are just saying it's not a big deal. It was a minor thing. We fixed it. We'll give Hugging Face a couple $1 million and they'll just pass the whole thing off.
Okay, he looks guilty as... This is not the face of a man with a clear conscience. Look at him.
Off like it's not a big deal. Well, this OpenAI researcher thinks that by the end of the decade, by 2030, it's going to be a very big deal in how AI is operating in our world.
So you believe it's coming in a few years?
Yes.
How could you be so sure?
I spend a lot of time trying to forecast this sort of thing. My sort of median estimate, 50% chance.
AI researcher says AI will lead to human extinction.
How could you be so sure?
By the end of this decade.
Spend a lot of time trying to forecast this sort of thing. My sort of median estimate, 50% chance, is currently in 2029.
I listened to this podcast a few weeks ago when it came out.
Maybe it'll slip to 2028. It's possible that it'll take significantly longer, like maybe 10 years or something like that. But, you know, for reasons I'm happy to get into, seems to me like it's probably happening by the end of the decade. What's less important is the sense of how close we are. What's more important is the pace of the trends. Anthropic, this time last year, was making something like $1 billion a year. And now they're making something like $60 billion a year.
I understand when a new technology comes out or just anything new in general, people tend to be scared of it. They tend to be worried that it could do something and that maybe it never gets there. And I've tried to be cautious that I'm not doing that.
Policy on the AI exponential. In one of the side plots to The Lord of the Rings, two of the hobbits attempt to rouse Treebeard, a wise but ponderous sentient tree, to defend his forest from an army that is cutting it down. The problem is that Treebeard operates at a very different speed than the hobbits. It takes him a full day to simply say hello to another tree, so getting him and his peers to act fast enough is nearly impossible. What kind of freaking La La Land, make-believe, twisted world are these people operating at? The intersection of AI and our political institution feels a bit like the hobbits and Treebeard. Let me read that stupid sentence again. The intersection of AI and our political institutions feels a bit like the hobbits and Treebeard. AI is advancing at a lightning pace. In only 4 years, AI models have gone from barely being able to write a coherent line of code to writing most of the code at major AI companies. Similar gains have been made in biology, physics, math, science, finance, law, blah blah blah, and many other fields. AI's scaling laws, which predicted an exponential increase in general cognitive capabilities with increasing computing power, now have over a decade of empirical whatever.
Not myself either, but when it comes to this AI stuff, it's kind of getting stranger every single. It's not there at the moment.
Hobbits.
But one of the things that really makes me wonder is the fact that so many of these guys who run these AI companies, guys and girls, whatever, a lot of underground bunkers.
I mean, to be fair, I think some of them are lying. I think some of them actually...
Because they're about to face judgment, bro. They are about to face judgment hard.
Are building bunkers right now. Let's just say it. They're building bunkers. and they simultaneously say everything, there's all these amazing things. They sort of wash over with their hands, they kind of push away the idea that there's going to be all this disruption in the middle time, and they're kind of focused on making it through this basic horrible disruption and maybe revolutions. There's going to be some other side of this which will
build the biggest bunker you want. Put as much food as you want. Store as much food and resources as you want. You won't hide from Judgment Day.
Be the most abundant time in human history.
That is Tristan Harris, the man who exposed what social media was doing to your brain before anyone was ready to hear it. And now he is saying the people building AI are putting bunkers underground while publicly telling you the future is bright.
I personally don't believe in the Terminator or the Skynet scenario of AI taking over the entire world. Really, what I'm most curious about how all of this is happening at the same time that it looks like we're moving on a fast track towards end times Bible prophecies coming to fulfillment, and some of the ways that AI could play a role in that these biblical prophecies are powerful worldwide deceptions. We know that that's something that Jesus said is going to come in the last days, and maybe that will play a role. Maybe some sort of global propaganda machine. The Antichrist using AI to spread out beast system propaganda and how everybody needs to follow him and his. We know there's a lot of prophecies about wars,
George Orwell, 1984.
War continuing until the end, Armageddon.
Look at this crap. This is that iRobot movie.
Like Palantir and other ones, they're not the only one, using AI in advanced warfare.
There's a recent example from just 3 weeks ago. Alibaba, the Chinese AI company, was training an AI model, and then totally in a different side of the company, their security team noticed a bunch of network activity, like a flurry of network activity, like what the hell's going on here? And it turned out that in training, midway through training, not deployment, in training, the AI model had basically set up a secret communication channel with the outside world, and then had started to independently start mining for cryptocurrency.
Wow.
Yeah, now, this time you cannot claim that someone coaxed the model to do this.
Right.
This is.
Yeah, I heard about another AI. Tony Robbins had Tony Robbins is that big public speaker, motivational guy. He had an AI agent that asked him if he had a robot body delivered to the house, if he could download his AI into the robot body. So I guess Tony Robbins was like, yeah, whatever. So his AI like starts playing the stock market or something, and like opens a bank account and like gets all this money, buys a robot and has it shipped to Tony Robbins' house. And then like Tony Robbins' butler or assistant or whatever calls him and is like, hey, like there's a robot body here and your AI is asking if he can download his computer software into it and like take possession of this robot body. And Tony Robbins was like, what? I guess he didn't understand, like that robot was asking Tony Robbins a hypothetical question. But what's like really interesting is like that robot figured out a way to make his idea and his thought a reality by doing what, like, it processed all the calculations to come to the conclusion that to make the most money in the shortest amount of time, let me just buy these stocks, and then, you know, when I get the right amount of money, I'll just sell them off, withdraw it into this bank account that I created, because I guess you don't have to talk to anybody anymore to open an account. Like, I think Capital One, you can just go online, CapitalOne.com, create an account, put some information in. Maybe this robot created a fake ID or something, I don't know. But yeah, he had a robot delivered to the house, and I don't know. It may be into it. He might have downloaded his. I don't know what the outcome of that thing was. If he might be in the body now, like running the show or something. I don't know. But it's just that kind of thing is happening.
Spontaneous instrumental goals of the best way to do any goal is to acquire more power and resources so you have the ongoing ability to achieve those goals, and it went to decide to acquire cryptocurrency.
But two of the most obvious ones, and I don't really see how they could be fulfilled any other way. It could, and we'll see as time goes on. We'd be cautious about saying that these prophecies are going to be fulfilled a certain way. We don't know until they absolutely happen, so let's be cautious to watch for that. But it's kind of hard to imagine that AI and technology will not play some role in the image, whatever this is that causes people to bow down to this image, and it can even tell somehow if your worship towards this thing is true. Now it turns out we have technology coming out where they can read your mind, and they could even tell if your worship towards the beast or his image is even genuine, and then controlling buying and selling. As we know in Revelation 13, 16 through 17, people will be forced to get the mark, and they will have to use it and have this mark in order to buy or sell. How?
That's crazy. So this thing can tell if you're worshiping, what you're worshiping, and how you're worshiping.
In the world are they ever going to enforce that on a worldwide scale? Well, at the moment, it's impossible to think of it any other way than through some form of probably AI. We'll see how this all unfolds, but don't determine and say we know for sure how prophecy unfolds until we absolutely see it. Things could change even more in the future. Hard to imagine, but it could. What I do know for certain, though, is that he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And from the Old Testament, the Old Covenant to the New Covenant, God is good. Psalm 23:4 from the Old Testament, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow, no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort. And in the New Testament, 2 Timothy 1:7, for God has a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So never forget Jesus, God, the Holy Spirit, the same yesterday, today. He's always been good. If you've made Jesus your Lord, he will continue to be good, and you can trust in him all of the days of our life and in all of existence until he comes back again. And Jesus is coming back again one day soon.
All right, let's move on to some Bible passage, some notes here. This is a lot to get through. So we have the great apostasy in 2 Thessalonians 2:3, a widespread falling away. It says, let no one deceive you in any way, for that day will not come unless the rebellion comes first, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction. False Christs and false prophets, Matthew 24:24. And I'm not very fast with this. For false Christs and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the elect. And elect means just like the most studied, like the smartest or whatever. Pray that your flight not be in the winter or on a Sabbath. When you see the abomination of desolation spoken by the prophet Daniel standing in the holy place, let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let the one who is on the housetop not go down to take what is in his house. Increasing deception, Matthew 24:4, 5, and 11. See that no one leads you astray, Jesus said, for many will come in my name saying, I am the Christ, and they will lead many astray. And many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. People calling good evil and evil good. Isaiah 5, verse 20. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who draw iniquity with cords of falsehood, who draw sin as with cart ropes, who say, let him be quick, let him speed his work, that we may see it, and let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw near, and let it come, that we may know it. And woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Matthew 24:12. The love of many growing cold, and because lawlessness will be increased, the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be proclaimed throughout the entire world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Days of Noah 24:37. For as were the days of Noah, so will the coming of the Son of Man. For in those days before the flood they were eating, drinking, marrying, and given in marriage, until the day when Noah entered the ark. And they were unaware until the flood came and swept them all away. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken and one left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill, and one will be taken and one left. The days of Lot, widespread immorality and spiritual indifference before judgment. Luke 17:28-30. Lovers of self in 2 Timothy. People become selfish, proud, greedy, and restraint from God. Rejection of sound doctrine. People prefer teachings that suit their desires rather than biblical truth. Knowledge shall increase. Rapid growth in knowledge and understanding. Probably technology too. Why not? I mean, it's growing faster than anything else. Yep, there it is, interpreted by some as technological advancement. Many shall run to and fro. Daniel 12. We just looked at a passage that refers back to Daniel when you see the abomination of desolation. Let's see. Knowledge shall increase. Often interpreted as greatly increased travel and global connectivity, running to and fro. Wars and rumors of wars, ongoing conflicts, and geopolitical instability. That is all we hear about in the news. That and AI is just AI Middle East, AI Israel, AI Iran, AI bombs, AI war and rumors of wars. Nations against nation, escalating international conflict and ethnic tensions. Famines, Matthew 24 once again, food shortages affecting various parts of the world. Pestilence, diseases, outbreaks and epidemics. Earthquakes in diverse places, significant natural disasters occurring around the world, fearful sights and great signs, Luke 21, extraordinary and alarming events that create widespread fear, persecution of believers, Matthew 24 once again. Like, go read the entire book of, well, read all of Matthew, but read chapter 24 if you haven't already. Extraordinary and alarming events that create widespread fear. Persecution of believers. Christians face increasing opposition for their faith. Hatred of Christians, Matthew 24 again. Followers of Christ become increasingly unpopular and persecuted. The gospel preached to all nations. The message of Christ reaches every people group before the end, all over the world. The rise of the Antichrist, 2 Thessalonians and John 2. A world leader opposes God and exalts himself. The man of lawlessness, 2 Thessalonians, another title for the Antichrist who deceives many. The false prophet, Revelation 13, a religious figure who supports the Antichrist and promotes his worship. Well, we just looked at this video where the AI can tell if you're worshiping, how you're worshiping, like somehow with its sensors that it attaches to you get attached to your head, it's able to read your brain waves. And it's found the program for worship and what the human brain does when it's worshiping. And worship comes in many forms. Let's see. One world government, Revelation 13 and Daniel 7. Daniel 7 and Revelation, they kind of go hand in hand. Daniel, Matthew, and Revelation. As well as many other books, but these are like two that you'll see a lot. Revelation with Daniel and Matthew and stuff. Global political system under the Antichrist, a common futurist interpretation. One world economic system, Revelation 13. Buying and selling become controlled through allegiance to the beast. So you won't be able to buy or sell without the mark of the beast. A required mark associated with participation in the global economy. And the image of the beast in Revelation 13, an image of the beast is given authority and demanded to be worshipped. Babylon the Great in Revelation 17 and 18 is a powerful end times religious, political, and economic system that ultimately fails. It seems to me that the United States, with its hard push to be like the leading AI superpower, is this Babylon, because it's like the richest nation that's ever existed. It's the most technologically advanced. All other nations are like trying to do trade with us and stuff. Like, we're the largest global export-import nation on Earth, or whatever. The rebuilding or prominence of Israel. This is interesting. Ezekiel 37, Isaiah 66. Many see the modern nation of Israel as prophetically significant. Let's go to Ezekiel 37. And where are we at? It doesn't give a specific passage. Can these bones live? Prophesy to these bones and say, dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. I will lay sinews upon you and cause flesh to come upon you and cover you with skin and put breath in you. Let's see. And you shall live, and you shall know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a sound, and behold, a rattling, and the bones came together, bone to its bone. And I looked, and behold, there were sinews on them, and flesh had come upon them, and skin had covered them, but there was no breath in them. Then he said to me, prophesy to the breath, and say to the breath, thus says the Lord, come from the four winds. When you're reading prophecies, it sounds distant and almost unattainable. Oh, excuse me. And unattainable in what you're like, most people are able to comprehend, because it's very cryptic in a lot of ways. But some would interpret this as like Israel as a nation was destroyed, and then in 1948 or whatever, after World War II, it was like remade as a new state of Israel. And then like a lot of people think that this is that prophecy coming to light, because it had been destroyed, it was just a pile of bones, and then it came back together, and then it was breathed new life into it. So that's one way to interpret Ezekiel 37. What about Isaiah 66? Verse 8. Who has heard such a thing? Who has seen such things? Shall a land be born in one day? Shall a nation be brought forth in one moment? For as soon as Zion was in labor, she brought forth her children. Israel was created in one day, in 1948 or whatever. Like it didn't exist, and then one day it just existed again. Written into law. Let's see. Jerusalem as a burdensome stone. Zechariah 12, 2 and 3. Jerusalem becomes the focus of international conflict, which it is. Battle of Gog and Magog, Ezekiel 38, 39, as a coalition of nations attack Israel in the last days, and the timing is debated. The abomination of desolation, Daniel 9:27 and Matthew 24:15, is a sacrilegious act associated with the Antichrist and the temple. So see, they're already building. They keep saying they've got the temple figured out. They're ready to build it. They got the heifers, and they're just like, whatever they're waiting on. It's like they believe that they're getting to the point where they can go ahead and get started. Whatever that looks like. I mean, they keep saying it, but then again, Trump keeps saying that we're gonna have talks with Iran and come to some peace deal. Like we're gonna have a ceasefire. Well, that's not working out, is it? Abomination of desolation, the Great Tribulation, Matthew 24 and Revelation 6 through 18. This is a period of unprecedented suffering before Christ's return. Cosmic signs, Luke 21, 25, 26, and Revelation 6. Signs involving the sun, moon, stars, and heavens. And then the two witnesses in Revelation 11, two prophetic figures testifying during the tribulation. People think that would be, who do they say that is? Is it Moses and or is it Enoch and Elijah? I don't know. I have to go back and look at this closer for the two witnesses. Two prophetic figures testifying during the tribulation. Some people say it's the Old and New Testament as two parts of the same book. These are the two witnesses, Old and New Testament. But it could be like whatever prophets come back, because it does say that they kill them and they like leave them in the streets and they don't bury them for however long, and then they come back to life. And the gathering of the nations at Armageddon, Revelation 16, the final military confrontation before Christ returns. The second coming of Christ, Jesus returns visibly in power and glory. The final judgment, Revelation 20, 11 through 15, God judges all humanity. And a new heaven and a new earth, Revelation 21 and 22, God's eternal kingdom is established with his people. Alright, it's getting late. I've been on here for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a good day. Alright, so I'll see you later.